And we are speaking with Atom Egoyan, the
Hi.
director of Chloe.
Hi.
Um, you've had censorship troubles in the past, most notably with Where the Truth Lies.
Right.
And Chloe is a sexually explicit film, albeit perhaps not the erotic thriller that certain trailers might lead you to believe, although it's still a provocative film. Have you had any troubles with Chloe in terms of censorship?
No, because I learned. I learned from my experience with Where the Truth Lies as to how far you can go, and I swore to myself I wouldn't make the same mistake. It's pretty specific, in terms of what will get you into trouble, and we just didn't cross that line. I didn't think I was crossing the line with Where the Truth Lies, but I ended up doing that, and unfortunately, the way I shot that film, there was no recourse. I couldn't alter anything because it was all done in a master shot, which is the first mistake. So we were very careful, and we've got our rating. We got an R rating as opposed to the NC-17, which crippled Where the Truth Lies.
Okay. Chloe's based on a French film called Nathalie, which, and this film as well as a remake, is relatively sexually provocative. Both are different in terms of the level of explicitness. Do you think that sexual films or films that deal with sexuality, especially in North America perhaps compared to European cinema, are perhaps harder to market or perhaps harder for audiences to digest than they might be, again, in Europe?
Well, I do think that it's true that there are certain strains of audience in North America who have an aversion to seeing sexuality, but I think those are people they for the most part know what they're getting into, and they wouldn't go and see a film like Chloe, but and that's understandable. Some people just don't feel comfortable seeing this form of our human expression, which is an essential part of who we are, but they just want to keep it to themselves. I mean, and I don't make films for that audience, and I think the actors here are pretty fearless, and they're exploring something which is very, very important to the movie. And I guess it's true that Europeans, there's a tradition of being looser and more casual about that. But there's a huge audience in North America that don't have a problem with that either. So it's not something you can generalize.
Okay, and I'll finish off. We have talked about this, but this film is again a provocative. It's a provocative thriller. You're known as an art house director, for better or for worse. Is this a mainstream film? Is this something that what kind of sort of audience will enjoy this film?
Oh, I think Chloe can definitely be a mainstream film. I think it's a story that a lot of people can relate to. Certainly, anyone who's been in a long-term relationship, or anyone who's felt in love with someone who's not returning certain feelings, or look, it's an accessible story, and it's really well performed, and so I don't think it's. And I think it's a good ride. I mean, look, for me, there's something that I look for in any film, which is whether or not the story is something which has relevance to my life. And I think that this is a story about relationships, and it has a relevance to a lot of people's life.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.